Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Geek This Week. I'm your host, Brogan, and I'm joined today by...
X! Yay!
So, this week in gaming, Assassin's Creed Origins actually received a huge update, one of the biggest updates we've seen since it launched last year, that included both a new game mode and a surprising educational tool, which you don't see often in games. The new game mode, which is a new game plus, essentially allows the player to start the game over with their current character level, equipment, abilities, things like that. The new tool is called Discovery Tour, and it essentially allows you to play through the entire game without any conflict or time constraints, as well as provide information as to why these places were important. It also comes with a base 75 preset tours that walk you through different parts of the region, so essentially you're getting a history lesson in the form of a video game, which is something we haven't seen in a very, very long time.
From Software, the game developer, has teamed up with Titan Comics to create a comic book about their hit game series, Dark Souls. This comic, called Age of Fire, will expand the game's lore in a 4-part miniseries. It will also feature all the main characters from Dark Souls, and the first issue will likely release on May 16th for $4.
A new event in Rainbow Six Siege has been announced. The new event, titled Operation Chimera's Outbreak, is set to feature some major changes in the way the game plays. It is the first ever update to feature a player versus environment mode in the game. The event is set to begin on March 6th and sees players team up to fight off hordes of aliens in 3 different missions. Some say these new missions feel very similar to Call of Duty's Nazi zombie game mode, while others compare it to Valve's Left 4 Dead series. There are also 2 new operators named Lion and Finka set to launch about the same time. To learn more about the missions and the operators for the operation, be sure to check out the link down in the description.
League of Legends' 140th champion has finally been announced, though the release may have been pushed a little too early. Named Kaisa and dubbed the Daughter of the Void, she's claimed to be half human, half void. She should now be available on the PBE, and it's expected that she'll go live in patch 8.5 on March 7th. Details are scarce, and the website her announcement was originally published on has been heavily edited to remove any ability showcases and her official trailer. Looks like someone accidentally hit publish.
This week in movies, the release of Black Panther has taken the world by storm and smashed records left and right. The movie managed to gross $242 million in the US box office alone over the holiday weekend, which makes it the second biggest opening weekend launch ever. Black Panther also had the highest grossing Monday in history, with a total of $40.2 million. The critics are raving about how great the movie is, giving it a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you're at all interested in the movie, I would definitely recommend getting out there and giving it a see.
Wakanda forever! Speaking of Black Panther, 2 kids tried to get into the movie dressed as one man in a very long trench coat. We've seen it in hundreds of Saturday morning cartoons, but it's actually been attempted now. And while the disguise wasn't very convincing, it was an attempt to get into the movie at the price of only 1 ticket. Unfortunately, the theater saw right through the disguise and sent them home.
I'd be lying if I said that I did not ever want to try that myself. Also, in movies, Star Wars superstar Mark Hamill is finally getting his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's been 40 years since he starred in the first film, but at long last, he's finally receiving the honor of the 2,630th star on the Walk of Fame. The ceremony will be held on March 8th. If you're in the area and want to watch it happen, you definitely know where to be to get in on the action.
This week in tech, Samsung unveiled their record-breaking solid-state drive, coming in at a whopping 30 terabytes of storage. This is the largest amount of storage ever crammed into the standard 2.5-inch size, although Seagate holds the record of the largest SSD with 60 terabytes, but that was a 3.5-inch size. Samsung's drive fits into a standard desktop and can hold roughly 500 days of non-stop video. It has a read speed of 2100 megabytes per second and a write speed of 1700 megabytes per second, which is 3 times faster than your average solid-state drive. A price and release date have not been set, but it should release in a line of other multi-terabyte drives.
You can literally record an entire year's worth of your life and fit it all on a single hard drive.
It would only take about 10 of these drives to store the entirety of the Truman Show.
A new space mission launched by India is estimated to cost less than it actually cost to film the movie Interstellar. You heard me right, a real-life mission to the moon is going to cost less money than it does to actually make a movie about going to outer space. The mission called Chandrayaan-2, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, will cost approximately $124 million, while the movie Interstellar cost $165 million to produce. What this means for the future of space exploration is unknown, but it's exciting to see the prices for space flights plummet over the past few years. So, it will literally cost you less money to go to space yourself than it will to watch somebody pretend that they are in space.
This week in science, the birth of a supernova was accidentally caught on camera for the very first time. Like, this dude pulled out the camera, pointed it at the sky, and got a supernova. While we have had pictures of them before, capturing the beginning of a star-going supernova is incredibly difficult. But an amateur astronomer from Argentina was testing out his new camera when he caught the initial brightening of the star, a phase that had only been theorized until now. It's small and subtle, but it's an incredible moment for astronomers around the globe.
While we're on the topic of space, NASA is currently wrapping up its twin study, which will help us better understand the effects space can have on the human body. In late 2016, NASA sent one man who has an identical twin brother to space for 1 year so they can study the differences between the two twins after one time spent in space. And while NASA plans to release the study later this year, they've already released preliminary findings. The findings already show changes in mass, cognition, the immune system, as well as hundreds of other genetic mutations. Again, if you want to learn more about some of the specifics of this study, be sure to check out the link we have in the description.
And that's about all we have for this week. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to join the notification squad. And be sure to tune in next week. Also, drop anything in the comments if you think we missed any big news this week. We're definitely obsessed with all of these things.
We'll see you guys next week.